Good morning, friends. It's Tracy from Nova Scotia Living, and it's a busy day in the kitchen today. I got a whole load of cucumbers. I'm doing up bread and butter pickles today, but I'm also going to be prepping mustard pickle stuff because we need to let that soak overnight. So while I'm waiting for my jars to be done for my bread and butter pickles, I'm going to start cutting up some peppers. I'll make sure I let you know the ingredients down below, but I don't know, double or tripling the batch. I have 5 big green peppers. I've got a whole bunch of red peppers, and I'm going to chop them all up in nice little small chunks. So I'll bring you back when that's all done, because that's a lot of tedious work. And then we got some cauliflowers to cut up. So there's my green peppers. Now I'm going to start on my red peppers. Well, I'm just working on my red peppers. I'm all done my green peppers, but somebody's helping me, and he's eating some of my red peppers. Same with Maze. He keeps running along getting some hunks. My 2 boys. Alright, friends, so I got all the peppers cut up over there, red and green. Now I'm going to chop up these cauliflowers and rinse them real good. I just had to take a little time out because I just finished my bread and butter pickles. Hip hip hooray! So when I get this all chopped up nice and small, like bite size, not big chunks, but not little teeny tiny pieces either, I'll bring it back and show you. Alright, the cauliflower's all chopped up. Some pieces are bigger than others, but you know, you don't want it too small or too big. So I'm going to put it in Big Bertha here. That's the name of my bowl. And I'm going to dump, let me get the peppers here. So, those in there. Mix them all up. Then I got to do the cucumbers. And we'll add those. And then the silver skin onions. Alright, friends. Well, I'm just busy here going away at these cucumbers for the mustard pickles. I have a big pot here on the chair beside me. And I just wanted to show you what I do. I've been doing a whole bunch because I'm tripling the batch. And yeah, so I cut the ends off of the cucumbers. Usually I do this, sorry I'm up here, but usually I do this with those big cucumbers that you can get, but I got a whole bunch of like this kind of cucumber, or just like smaller kind that you use for bread and butter or dill pickles. So I'm going to use them up and just do a nice big batch of mustard pickles. So what I do is cut it down in half. And usually with the bigger pickles there's more meat, but there's a lot of seeds. And I have a bowl here, but I'll just do it here. You just kind of scrape out the seeds. Make a mess while you do it. This is a nice big fatty. I don't want to get right down to the skin of it, but just to get like the innards out. Let me get that. Ooh. And then I'll cut it in half. Like, this is a big one. I could actually do it again, but you chunk it up. They're a little bigger than the little discs that you do for bread and butter, but a good size, like a chunk. That's how my mom always did it. I don't know if that's how other people do it, but that's how I do it for my mustard pickles. And yeah, easy peasy. It's not hard, but when you do a giant pot of them, it gets a little tiresome. I gotta do this over the bowl. But mustard pickles are so good. They're really good with like a roast beef dinner or something like that. Well, with anything really. I just didn't can any last year because I had enough in the basement. Okay, friends. Well, I have all the cucumbers cut up. I mixed it all in with my hands. I had gloves on. And now I'm filling up a big stock pot of cold water because we need to cover it. But before I do that, we're supposed to add silver skin onions. And just in my past, when I used to buy the actual silver skin onions. Those are those little tiny onions. It's a humongous amount of work, and if you can do it, all the power to you. But it was a nightmare for me. So what I do now, I buy the already little peeled pickled onions, and I got, how many did I buy? Well, for this batch, I have 2 sour pickled onions and 2 sweet pickled onions. And we're going to add that in there too. But I'm going to open these and strain them, and we'll add them. So, I'll be right back. Alright, all dumped in. I'm going to mix them up. And I put some pickling salt in here for just a normal batch, I think. Oh, my battery died. Yeah, I added more just because this is a huge batch of pickles. And then we're going to cover it with cold ice water and let it soak overnight. So, it smells really good, guys. Yeah, you can see, like, there's a chunk of cucumber and a thing of cauliflower. Alright, guys, my battery keeps dying on my phone, so just stand over on that side and just show them what I'm doing. Like, she's pointed at the bowl. Mally's using my new phone. Hopefully it'll take. But we're going to add the water on top of this. Let me get it. You just keep it pointed there, Mally. Oh, gosh. Oh, it's heavy. Woo.
Is it hot?
No, it's cold water.
Okay.
We just want enough so it'll stay submerged. So, submerged. I'll probably end up having to put a couple of plates in here. Probably 3 plates. Because it's a giant bowl.
Big plates.
Yeah. Just to keep it under the water. And I'll add ice to it a few times this evening. But yeah, we don't touch this again until tomorrow. So, I'll be back later on I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Okay, friends, well, it's the next day, and I got the big bowl brought in. I took the 3 plates off that were weighing it down, and now what we got to do is strain these vegetables. But I can't get that bowl over on my counter because it's full of jars. So I'm going to take bit by bit in the pot and bring it over and strain it and put it into another big pot, if you catch my drift. So when this gets all strained, we can move on to the next step. I got jars in the dishwasher now, and we're going to sanitize them in the oven. But what I do before I'll take one and go rinse it, just a piece of it, and taste it to see how salty it is. If it's super salty, you just need to rinse it a little bit more. If it's not too salty, just give it a rinse, but you don't have to rinse it to smithereens, if you know what I mean. So, anyways, I'll bring you back when this part of the journey is all done. Okay, friends, I have jars in the oven at 215. I leave them in there about 20 minutes to a half hour after they've been thoroughly washed. But that'll make sure that they're good and clean, because we're water bath canning these pickles. If we were pressure canning, just having good clean jars will do, because the pressure canner would take care of the rest. But since we're water bath canning, we need to do this. But I'm just starting to make the broth or brine or whatever the heck you want to call it for the pickles. But I have a big pot because I've tripled or quadrupled the recipe. I did a triple batch of the ingredients that goes for 3 batches of pickles. I might have to make more, because depending on how many pickles I have in that big bowl. So in here is sugar, mustard, turmeric, and flour. And again, I'll put that recipe down below just for a single batch of pickles. I'm doing more than that right now. But this will probably be right up to the top almost. It's a big 22-quart stock pot. Yeah, and now I need to add the vinegar. So then we heat it up till the sugar dissolves and it thickens up, and then we add the vegetables. So I'll show you after this starts to break down. Ooh, there, I'm just starting to add the vegetables. You gotta, like when I dissolved that stuff together, or melded it together, I turned it on high just to kickstart it, but turn it down because you don't want it to scorch on the bottom with that flour and sugar. And yeah, and you just need to make sure it's heated through. My front burner burnt it out, which is frustrating, so I'm mixing this together and then I'm going to put it on the back burner. And you just heat it up so it gets all heated all the way through. You're not cooking the vegetables. So about, I don't know if it's less than 10 minutes or right around 10 minutes or so, because I don't want to cook the vegetables that they're soft. I like crunchy pickles. I don't know about you, but I like crunchy pickles. So, no, I just messaged my husband. Hopefully he'll pick up a front burner for me because I can't stand not having my stove working. So I'll finish adding probably another scoop of this and then heat it up. Alright, well I got my setup. Now let me get you situated. I need my little funnel. So I just want to say, before you even started this process, when you dig your jars out, make sure you check your jar lids to make sure there's no chips or anything, nicks or bumps or anything on there. Because even if you wash them, that chip and nick is going to be there. And it will not seal in any canner at all. So these jars are good and hot. This is good and hot. And now we're going to scoop it into the jars. But I need my scoop. Where's my scoop? Here it is. I have my water bath canner over there on the stove heating up. I have 2 water bath canners, but I don't think I'll be able to do them 2 at the same time. And I have not a hot towel. I have a towel, that was too full, on the table because you don't want to put a hot jar on a cold table. Just to reduce the chance of it breaking. But that's why it's so important to have whatever you're canning hot, along with your jars, along with the canner, all hot at the same time, because it'll bust in the canner. So I'm just putting a little more in there. I still have dishes in the dishwasher. I've been on a canning kick yesterday and today. I did dill pickles. Well, you've seen. Never mind me. Let me see. So, let me get this because it's hot. I just want to show you how far I brought that up. Can you see that? It's the very bottom lip of where the ring goes on, right down here. That's as far up as I go. Now with something like this, you always got to debubble. Don't use something metal or glass. Use something wooden or plastic because you don't want to scratch the jar. I'm just using the end of one of my many wooden spoons. And you just go around the sides to make sure there's no hidden air bubbles in there. Perfect. I guess I don't have myself together. I need a clean rag or a paper towel or whatever the heck you have and want to use. Now, the next thing that we do is wipe the rims. So I have white vinegar in here. You can just use hot water, but I'm just using white vinegar because that's what my mom always used. And you just want to make sure there's nothing on the rim. No juice or any kind of spices that might prevent the lid from sealing to the top of the jar. Now I have my lid sitting in some, was boiling water, scalded water. Put it on there and then get a ring. Now, this jar's hot. You just do it fingertip tight, guys. You don't use all your strength. You just do it as tight as you can with your fingertips. And that's what you do. Then we bring it over to the canner. Like that. I use one of these nifty contraptions. And it's great for lifting jars in and out of the canner without burning yourself. And yeah, it's a must when you're canning, I would say. I don't know how you get a jar out safely either without that thing. So I'm going to power through these ones and get those in the canner because my kids are going to be home in about a half hour. And I want to at least get the first batch of these done. So here we go. Okay friends, I loaded up the water bath canner. You got to make sure the water comes up a little bit above the jars. And you only need to process them for about 10 minutes. I just set my timer for 15 because you don't start that timer until the actual water starts boiling again. And I still have some stuff left in the pot and I still have all of those. Still have some in here. So, and then I have probably another pot in here. So not doing too bad. I'm going to have to heat this up a little bit. I'll just do it on low before I bottle it again because this will be cooled down, too cool to put into a hot jar by the next go around. Alright friends, go eat your oatmeal maize. I just took these out of the canner. They're piping hot and hopefully they'll all snap shut. They should. I don't see why they won't. But yeah, I have this over here and I put that burner, that big pot on the back burner. The front burner started working again, but it comes and goes. So I'm heating that up and I'm going to bottle the rest, and when it's all done, I'll bring you back and show you. Well, there we have it, guys. I got 16 quarts of mustard pickles. And the last time I made mustard pickles was a couple of years ago. And it was with my mom. Well, it must have been, let me think. Well, I have some pictures of when we were canning. Now, a little story. When she would come out, my mother had ALS, and she's an angel in heaven now, and comes down to visit us. You know, has a butterfly. Sometimes when the kids see a butterfly, we say that's Grammy coming to say hi and all that stuff. And anyways, for the last couple of years of her life, she lived in a home because she couldn't walk and she wasn't very mobile or anything. But luckily, there was a nonprofit transport organization, and for a very small fee, pick people up in the community that need a ride for people that, you know, are in wheelchairs or, you know, things like that. So my mom would come out to our house at least once a week, which was fantastic. In those days that she would come out, I'd make the supper that she was craving to have, and I'd save things like canning, because she used to love canning for when she was here. Now, she couldn't do a whole lot, but she never lost her voice, so she could always talk, which was wonderful. We were so fortunate with that, because often people with ALS, they lose their voice first, but she never did. Near the end, it got a little shaky there, but yeah, when she would come out, she would laugh with the kids and talk with the kids. And yeah, the last time I made mustard pickles was with her. So if I can find those pictures, I'll put some in this video. But yeah, so I was imagining Mom here in her chair talking with the kids and canning and, you know, just having a right good time, because I had a good time today. Just a busy mommy day, you know what I mean, with canning and kitchens and everything else that goes along with having a family, right? So yeah, I just wanted to share. And yeah, I know I have those pictures somewhere, so I'll put them in here so you can see. You can see the joy on her face when it comes to canning, because she always canned when we were younger, canning pickles. And the fall, you could always, you know, you come home from school, you walk in the house, and it smells like vinegar and dill and bread and butter and mustard, and she'd make relish and salsa and things like that. So yeah, I'm channeling my mother when I can sometimes, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So yeah, anyway, so this is how we make mustard pickles. I'm using the same recipe she did. I don't know where she got it from. The book that I actually have is my mom's handwriting in it, and she wrote it down. So that's the one I do, and it never fails. We all eat them and like them, and delicious. So yeah, anyways, I just wanted to share that little tidbit. But this is how we make mustard pickles. So I'll put all the specific ingredients down below, and I just, yeah, water bath canned them for 10 minutes, and they're good to go. They're good to go. It's a lot of work just in regards to prepping all the vegetables, and, you know, depending on how much you want to make. But one single batch of mustard pickles isn't that hard. It's not a whole great big bunch of stuff. So check out the recipe down below and you'll see. You'll see. So if you do try this, let me know how you make out and what you think of them. And yeah, I'm pretty sure if you like mustard, you're going to like these pickles, really. Really. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to shut it off here. So peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love you. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. 100%. So stop back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll be here and bumbling around doing something. So, all right, guys, you have a good night or a good morning, and I'll see you later. Bye. Boink.